Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Yeah, that's all right there. All right, all right, all right. You know I gotta cut this shit. You know I gotta cut this shit. You know I gotta cut this shit. Let me cut this shit. Cut it all the way off. Let me cut this shit. Let me cut this shit. Let me cut this shit. Cut the shit. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Johanna Ali, and welcome to another installment. And I hope you sit back and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna sit back and you gonna subscribe, you gonna hit that like button, you gonna hit that dislike button, you gonna hit something. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Like you're supposed to. If you here on my channel, then that means you meant to be here right now. So sit back and tune in. We got a dope one for you today. So before we get started, before I do anything, a lot of times y'all know how I do it. Hold on, there you go, beautiful. All right, so before we get started on anything, y'all know we like to clear up all the energy, and it's Gemini season right now, so y'all know you definitely need to clear up some energy. It definitely need to be clear. But you know the planet's in good spots right now, so everything's going the way it's supposed to be going. So before we get rolling, y'all know how we do it right about this time. I ain't been doing this for a second. We transition. So it's been a little second, but welcome back. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that don't like button, leave a comment, cuss me out, something. I don't care. You dig what I'm saying? But if you're here, you're supposed to be here. Again, I don't do this for ego. I do this to help people for no other reason but to help people. But I need to help my damn self right now, clear up some more of this energy. I mean, this sage lit. So while I'm talking and getting this energy clear, so we're gonna talk about Gemini moon tonight. You know about the Gemini moon? You dig what I'm saying? Gemini moons, and what is the moon? The moon is the mother. The moon is the emotions. The moon is the feelings. The moon is not the moon is the ego. The moon is really the ego. Some people have the Rasputin moons to be bullying their sun sign. So we're gonna talk about that aspect also later on my channel. But right now we're gonna talk about the Gemini moon. And the Gemini moon is one of the most interesting moons. Very interesting moon, very eccentric. I want to say it's a very eccentric moon too, as well. Very different and unique moons to have. It's one spot away from where it wants to be. It's in between Taurus and Cancer. So the Gemini moon is very erratic sometimes. It could be very erratic a lot of times. But it's good because it's changeable. So Gemini moons, a lot of times, they don't really stay in their feelings per se. You know what I'm saying? Because their feelings change a lot in one day. Like their feelings be like this early in the morning, and by the time if they fall asleep, you dig what I'm saying? It'll be on some whole other shit. They've been forgot about it. Gemini moons are very adaptable to situations. A lot of Gemini moons had to learn how to be adaptable early, young in life. You dig what I'm saying? Like when they were younger, they had to learn how to be very adaptable as far as like with their feelings, because like their feelings was always being tested, like a little bit more than everybody else's. You dig what I'm saying? A little bit more than all the other moons, but Gemini likes to think about their feelings before they feel their feelings per se. When they need to feel their feelings, a lot of times like they'll think about, should I be feeling like this? Should I feel this way? No, you're supposed to feel that way. If you don't feel that way, they want to logically break down why they feeling like that way. And communication is always big with Gemini moons. You dig what I'm saying? Early off. So a lot of Gemini moons, if they're not if take a Gemini moon and they're not as communicative, they don't talk as much. They're always talking to themselves in their head. They're gonna say that could drive a Gemini moon crazy because they can have like personality disorders and things like that because they don't know what side they really want to let out. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll be arguing, beefing with themselves more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't really, you know what I'm saying, hold Gemini moons like too much into shit. Like, but another thing with Gemini moons, they're good with their hands, kind of like Geminis. Like they're very good with their hands. Like they could be very skilled with their hands and different things, and learning things that like they learn quick. They're quick to catch on. Like it might not seem like it, but look, no matter how they express it through whatever sun sign, they catching on quick. Trust me. Whether they're saying that or not, they're gonna catch on quick, and they know how to catch on between the words when you're speaking to them. You dig what I'm saying? So they could be very changeable. Another thing about Gemini moons, they'll attract a lot of younger people in their life. They'll always be around younger people, young energy, because it's Gemini. You dig what I'm saying? So Gemini moons is gonna always attract younger people in their lives, and a lot of times their moms could have always had younger people around them as well. But we're gonna get to the mom aspect of the mom relationship with the Gemini moon later. But another thing about, like I said, with them, the Gemini moons, they can be good with their hands and learn how to do things when they being very skilled with things with their hands. A lot of them like get in fights with the siblings first when they're young. They might have a lot of verbal altercations being young, dealing with their siblings a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be a love-hate relationship with their siblings. Being young with Gemini moons, like I said, they attract younger people into their lives, and they keep them with their young energy because, like Gemini moon, they have to be stimulated. You know what I'm saying? Because like you have to be able to stimulate the Gemini moon's mind. They have to be able to. They don't like being bored. You know what I'm saying? Because the first sign of bored, like Gemini moons, like boom, what it is, out of mind is the devil's playground. That's a perfect example of the Gemini moon. Yeah, because like if you let them sit around for too much, they're gonna start thinking about all kind of ill shit to do and ill shit to get into, and you ain't gonna be able to stop them. Like and they're very smart and knowing how to go about. They're very methodical. I'm gonna say that they're very methodical about the way they approach just things in life. You dig what I'm saying? Even when like when you're communicating with the Gemini moon, like they already kind of know what the setup is in their head when they're about to bring something to you. You dig what I'm saying? They already set up in their head and they thought of 1,000 different outcomes, and they'd be like, I was right, but they thought of 1,000 of them, so yeah, of course they're right. Right? All right. So the Gemini moon, I love Gemini moons because like they're very fun. But other thing about Gemini moons, like they attract younger people in their life. They also attract older people in their lives, and the older people in their lives a lot of times are there to show them like different lessons that they, in turn, take those lessons that they learn from older people, the older people that in their life. See how Gemini moon work? They're gonna learn. They'll be quiet a lot of times around old people, and they'll listen and absorb a lot of stuff, especially if it's some spiritual stuff. Gemini moons are just like Gemini suns love spirituality and higher learning. So if you could show a Gemini moon something spiritual, they're gonna take that and they'll remix it in their own shit. But they'll make it work and formulate the, you know what I mean, work for them. So a lot of Gemini moon take that information that they get from older people that's around in their life, that's close to them. Maybe it might be a auntie, uncle, older cousin, but somebody in their family. A lot of times it's like that. They'll take on a lot of those traits more so than the actual mother. You dig what I'm saying? So they might take on a lot of those traits instead of, because it's Gemini, it's like related, but it's not the actual energy of. Because remember, Gemini moons are, the moon is at home in Cancer, and it's exalted in Taurus. So it's sitting in the middle of that. So it can go either way. So Gemini moons, like, don't ever get them twisted, because like to me, like they're a little bit of like both of those, like Cancer and Taurus, depending on the degree of the moon. So they can lean either or, but they could be exalted, or that moon could be very sharp into whatever they're good at. Oh yeah, and they're good. They could be manipulative too. Like they could be manipulative because they know how to word stuff in a way to where it'll make you feel like, God damn, because they'll throw you off with their words and make you want to, like, whether they're telling you the truth or not sometimes. Because Gemini moons, like, they're good with the words and they know how to word things and put it into a place to where it's like, uh, a way of, like, it's like self-protection. It's like protecting the moon because the moon is still the emotion. So that Gemini moon is going to think of all kind of ways to protect that sun. You dig what I'm saying? Because the sun and the moon is there together all the time. You dig what I'm saying? So they work with each other, the wants and the needs. So with the Gemini moons, it's going to always be in protective mode when it comes to communication. Again, because they already know, like, the angle that they're trying to use when communicating. Oh, another thing about the motherfucker, when they're young or older, like the motherfuckers get, look, they're still like them hands, boy, them Gemini hands, boy, look, they quick, and you won't even know it a lot of times because they talking to you, but you don't know. See what? One hand doing it in your pocket, the other hand over here, like look at me talk, other hand in your pocket. So like, and they're good with it. You won't even know it's them. A lot of times, sometimes until they get caught, because Gemini moons they good until they get caught, and then a lot because Pisces square Gemini, so a lot of Gemini moons can find themselves in bad spots. You do what I'm saying? Gemini moons know what I'm talking about. They find themselves in jail trying to be slick, especially when they younger, because like it's ruled by Mercury. You do what I'm saying? Mercury is very curious and it's sharp. Like I said, they learn fast. So if they can find a shortcut of doing things, and you got to remember, Gemini's master money because they just came from Taurus. So they know money. Every Gemini that I know gets money. I don't know too many broke Gemini. It's like knowing a broke Taurus. Like, it ain't really happening. It happens, but not really. So, but they know how to go about it. Like, they know how to put themselves in the right situation and run the right people a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Another thing about Gemini moons, they like, they could like knives and guns, things like that. It could be into knives and guns or collector. It could be a collector. It could be, like I said, they could, like collecting. Oh, see, look, see ride, see riding, see they could like riding, see like being in cars, see, but like I was saying, like they could like guns and knives and things like that right there. Only because like Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules those things. So a lot of them, if they don't like those things, sometimes in life they'll face those things. Like somebody might pull a gun on them, or somebody might pull a knife on them, or run them over, shit like that. Or they could run somebody else over, like, because it's still dealing with like vehicles. It's not funny, but it's funny. Yeah, I know that shit, right? And it's still funny, and it still be. And look, they'll laugh about it too, and they laugh about the wrong shit at the wrong time. Like, when a Gemini moon is in a situation, sometimes I'm glad they kind of like. Sometimes they could they'll laugh at the wrong times about the wrong shit. They'll laugh at the wrong times about the wrong shit.
Making the situation easier.
It's making the situation easier. It makes it easier. See, it makes it easier. See, it makes it easier to deal with by laughing instead of just dealing with it seriously. You dig what I'm saying? So, because naturally, their eighth house, a Gemini's eighth house, is Saturn, which is, I mean, it's Capricorn. So a lot of times their emotions and their feelings, you won't even know, because deep down, like they wonder if they even have feelings sometimes. The Gemini moon, like even though everybody ruled by feelings, like sometimes they're like, I don't know if I have feelings sometimes. They could be like heartless sometimes. Like if you get a Gemini moon like mad, they could be the most heartless motherfuckers you ever, and like look.
And really don't care.
And see, look, I got help on the video. See, I got Gemini moon. They really don't care. So they really don't care about. So like, just telling you, like, that's how that works sometimes when it comes to the Gemini moon. Very tricky. Especially when you about to start adding Rick James. I know how I speak. When you add Rick James, when you which is Uranus is about to come into Gemini, so it's going to add a different emotion and feelings. They're going to start changing how they feel about a lot of shit. A lot of Gemini moons about to start going through changes in how they feel about a lot of things, depending on the aspect of what's looking at that moon and where their natural natal Rick James or Uranus is in their chart. So it's going to affect. It's going to change a lot of their feelings. They're going to have different feelings for different people, and it's going to change up how they're feeling towards not just people themselves too. It's going to change themselves. Like they're about to go through a lot of changes themselves with a lot of things within themselves and how they approach things. A lot of them, Gemini moons shouldn't smoke too much. Gemini moons, they don't have a lot of, they don't get a lot of clarity a lot of times. Just like the Gemini suns, because it's air, so it could cloud their judgment sometimes when they smoke too much. But they're not. But another thing, it could have addictive. Gemini moons also, just like the Gemini suns, could be low key alcoholics too. Or like they could be low key alcoholics sometimes. Like that'd be the other ill shit when it comes to the Gemini moons. Like that's one thing I noticed about Gemini. If they don't smoke, like they'll overdo the other whatever they indulge into, they'll overdo it. So much to the point to where it starts to affect their body, and not only affects their body, it affects their mental. You think what I'm saying? A lot of Gemini moons might have a lot of nervous energy or a lot of mental things going on sometimes because it's Gemini, so it's constantly changing, and the moon is very erratic in Gemini. You got to understand, and the moon don't really like being in Gemini. But I'm gonna tell you that the moon don't like being in Gemini because you got a moon in Gemini, so sometimes you might not like the way you feel. You might not like how you're feeling. You might not like the way you're thinking. You might not like a lot of shit. But then you like, why am I feeling like this? But you don't even know a lot of times. Like, but you'll battle with it. Sometimes in the same token, you start looking at all the other things you're grateful for. Like it'd be weird when it comes to Gemini moons a lot of times. Also, another thing about some Gemini moons, like Gemini moons could, just like the Gemini suns, I forgot to mention, some of them could be like bisexual, have like sort thoughts of like other or the same sex or stuff like that, right? Because it's Gemini, depending on like the house a lot of times, because the house plays a big part into the thought pattern of where they want to go with it, and depending on like what's mixed with it, a lot of times that Gemini moon is gonna step into that energy, and they don't give a fuck because the Gemini, they're gonna speak on it, and if you got something to say about it, they're gonna cuss you out about it, and they might be childish sometimes. Like that's another thing about Gemini moon. They can be childish as hell sometimes. They'll talk about childish. They'll talk about like, but it'll be funny. They don't mean to do it in a. It's not coming from a place of. Hold up. Gotta get my wine in my system. Gotta get a little bit of wine in my system. Don't worry about what I'm drinking. Mind your business. It's wine, red wine. Good for your heart. The more you drink it, the more you fart. Or something like that. You think what I'm saying?
That's beans, baby.
Yeah, I understand. The beans too. The beans in the wine. A red wine good for your heart. Well, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Gemini moons, like they could be into role playing also. They good with the role playing, like so if you with them, like they could be into role playing different characters. They might be a different character. They might be different characters. They might actually have a when they're little, I forgot to mention that. They could have like a Gemini moon. Yeah, Gemini moons is the motherfuckers who be having imaginary best friends. They be having imaginary best friends or a friend telling them, their friend told me to do that. That's bullshit. That Gemini moon be slicking like, cause every day the other side of the conscious. Everybody got an ego or moon or whatever. But when it's Gemini, like you got to understand because it's Mercury. That motherfucker, like it could be tricky. It'll change up on you, like so. They could have like a personality disorder. If you ever seen the movie Fight Club, you know what I'm saying? I think dude, he had the Gemini moon, because it was Tyler Durden and the girlfriend. I forgot whatever her name was. Damn, I'm gonna get it in a second, but I forgot Gemini season. Fuck it. But like, look, he had both of them people was in his head. The girl and Tyler Durden and the girlfriend. See what I'm saying? Like that's what I say. He was probably a Gemini moon, but he was doing everything. But it was like he was outside of himself. And Gemini moons know what I'm talking about. Like they'll be doing shit a lot of times, but they feel like that ain't them doing it. Yeah, it's you doing it, motherfucker. It's you doing it, motherfucker. It's you. I love Gemini moons. Y'all crazy. Yeah, they're crazy sometimes too.
Sometimes.
They're crazy a lot of times. But like, look, I love Gemini moons. So this is about it. I'm trying to keep it short, keep it sweet. But I'm glad y'all tuned in. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If not, then you know what I mean. Fuck you too. Gemini season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I love y'all, the ones that support. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know why I do this shit. We gotta go to part 2. Part 2 is gonna be about the relationships with the mother and the relationships in general and like career choices. So if you watch this one, you know I always get like banned outlaw, but like look, catch me on part 2. It's always gonna be better than part 1. All the time, because sometimes you gotta do it twice. Gemini's know what I'm talking about. Shout out.